Hello, welcome to the global discussion. I want to talk about fintech a little bit today, and I'm going to cover 9 areas that I think are worth paying attention to because fintech itself has grown beyond disruption, particularly over the last decade. Fintech firms have matured from being niche disruptors into essential, very scalable players within the broader financial services ecosystem. They now contribute significantly to growth in payments, banking services, markets, and much more. Um, and they're increasingly no longer viewed as sort of fringe innovators. Now, why does AI matter in this space, particularly when it comes to responsibility, which I would put forward probably matters even more now? AI is central to future innovations, and artificial intelligence will certainly be one of the most important forces reshaping financial services in this year and the next. Um, it's moving at a rapid pace, as we all know, but its applications are ranging from customer service. We've all seen chatbots being not only developed but improving, but personalized experiences to the automation. We're seeing huge growth in fraud detection, algorithmic trading, data management, and of course, a huge increase in operational efficiency. The third point I want to sort of touch on when I'm talking about fintech is ethical and risk considerations. Ethical and risk considerations are critical, though AI adoption is still well underway. The sector's still learning how to manage its full range of risks. And companies and firms have got to weigh up both the benefits and the potential harms, including these ethical issues and the threat of misuse. So, responsible AI frameworks and ethical guardrails are becoming even more crucial as these capabilities expand so fast. Now, regulation is evolving to meet this moment. It's trying to support responsible AI. AI regulators, they're introducing somewhat clearer rules. In the EU, for example, the EU AI Act is being rolled out. In Ireland, there are plans to establish a national AI office this year to help manage implementation and adoption locally. That's one to keep an eye on. Regulatory clarity as a growth driver is also worth talking about. So, regulation, it isn't just compliance, and I think sometimes we sort of feel that it is. It's actually a catalyst, and that the catalyst fintechs are increasingly becoming regulated entities. So from the electronic money institutions and the payment institutions, the MIs, the PIs, and the regulated firms, crypto asset regimes, many fintech players now operate under the same quite stringent frameworks as a traditional bank. That wasn't always the case. You heard about rapid um, deployment, rapid acceptance of neobanks. They've grown, for example, but more and more they're coming under the stringent frameworks that the more traditional financial systems are accustomed to. Um, New frameworks, I suppose, point six I wanted to touch on is that new frameworks do help to build confidence. I know it may not feel like that sometimes. The markets in crypto assets regulation that I referred to a moment ago was actually effective from January 2025. Now, this does provide a unified framework for crypto asset service providers, somewhat protecting investors and reducing bad actors in the space. Another area to keep an eye on when we're talking about fintech is skilled compliance. Again, I would put forward that skilled compliance teams are vital at this stage. So, unlike maybe the legacy incumbents that built compliance functions over decades. Newer fintechs are now rapidly scaling their regulatory governance, risk, and compliance capabilities to match and to run in parallel with their own growth ambitions. This not only helps them future-proof things, but it helps them attract investment. It certainly helps them operate internationally across borders and to build trust with customers and partners. Just a note, a penultimate note about scale, confidence, and the competitive advantage, because scale follows clarity and capability. Regulatory clarity and responsible deployment of technologies like AI aren't just these legal requirements. They're actually, when viewed through a different lens, strategic assets. They help fintechs to build sustainable growth paths, differentiate in a very crowded, busy, noisy market, and to compete with traditional banks on services and on trust, which is a real key word in this space. So my ninth point that I want to share with you that I think is worth keeping an eye on, and the final point, is that the future of fintech, I believe, is embedded in responsible growth. Fintechs are expected to continue adopting the latest technologies, but also while deepening their regulatory maturity. And this positions the sector to drive further innovation while reinforcing customer confidence and system stability. So just some thoughts around fintech. I think it's certainly a sector that has an awful lot going on. It's sort of, to some degree, at the crossroads of everything that we're talking about: regulation, AI, new ways of working, new workflows, and new ways that financial organizations are structuring themselves. So I hope that was interesting, and I hope you can join me back here for some more discussions on the global discussion. Thank you.